you shouldn't allow you to use it. Because once you start feeling jealous, trust me, it's
destroying you completely.
It's gonna destroy you, yes. Because now usenza kahle. Because you now jealous. You're like so jealous. Usufisa ngathi ufana nabo and everything. Sometimes you're not even realizing that you're jealous, yabo. But it's gonna destroy you. You're not even gonna focus on your own journey because you're now focused.
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah, you hear. I wanted to say, then you're no longer living your own dream. You're living this person's dream. If this person loses, you're rejoicing. If this person gets maybe something else, you're like, I want to get that. You're not living your dream now, but you're just trying to compete with this person because that's just jealousy fitting. And we know as Christian that jealousy is not of God. It's just honestly.
So, I was like, no, it's fine. It's absolutely fine. Because I know a decision. I will live with it. And one day, just one day, things are going to work out for me. But it's not even about that. Like, I still have a lot to live for. Like, I'm still young. There's still a lot that I have to live for. So, ish. Yes, it's gonna damage me mentally. So,
my question is, when you're deciding, okay, I'm going back to Matric, what is it that is pushing you to go back to Matric? Like, what were you hoping to get into after Matric? Like, what is it? You're in engineering. People will be like, that's the best degree. I've been fighting to get into engineering and I got a BSc. Like, you were in engineering. Like, how high were you hoping to get that made you go back to Matric and not even to say, I'm going to apply with my first year marks, but you said, I'm going back to Matric. What was the drive?
Basically, the drive was, I wanted to rediscover myself. I wanted to feel good again. I wanted to not to prove a point to people. No, I wanted to prove a point to myself. As in, what you got there was not you. When you know exactly what you should have got. So just go back, just take that risk and just see how it works out. And if it doesn't work out, then it's fine. You are just taking a risk. And fortunately, it didn't go the way we wanted. But chances are so low, it won't go your way. But also, not that chances are so low. It depends on your actions as well. Depends on your behavior and everything. So if you're going to say, no, I'm going to go back to school. And then when you get to school, you play around.
Yeah.
Then
you now you are in school. Like, okay, people are going to follow your journey of how you found the school, whatever. So now you found the school, you are now in Matric. You go back to wearing a uniform. You used to be at rest, making your own decisions. Now you're back at school. And you have to listen to teachers. But then when you were in university, you would get up and go to the toilet. Sometimes you wouldn't come to class if you don't want to. How are you positioning your brain to be in this predicament or in this situation that you put yourself in because it was your decision? Like, that transitioning, how was that like? Also, was the school a boarding or you were staying at home?
So I went to a Pambili High School in Seaview, just near Roseburg. So when I got there, the application process wasn't easy because already late. People who wanted to applied earlier on. So when I applied, I was a bit late because my class had already started. So I tried to beg them. I even tried to speak to the deputy principal, and it was like, just give me this one chance. Just give me this one chance, I promise. Then luckily they called, and then because I kept on going back to the school, going back now and again to check what's okay, space availability, up until there was space available. Then I went in, and also I'd bring my portfolio of certificates because I'd built up. I was trying so many ways. Guys, I need to convince y'all. So I went with because I built from grade 1.
First times.
Yeah, from grade 1, my first primary up until, and not Chris is being on awards.
It is. So, that's what also motivates when you get to high school for you to keep going because you're used to those.
Yes.
Like, I know. You look at them in the world like that's what
they like big. So awards, I had like a big file, awards, everything, my high school awards, like abo NJ sports award, like every type of award. I was like, I'm gonna be a contribution, please. And then they gave me a space, thankfully.
This school is in Joburg?
No, it's in Durban, SCView.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
So
then, okay, fine. They said, come. You were like, okay, I'm gonna wear a uniform.
They're like, come next week.
How was it to convince your parents on this decision, and how did they take it?
They were very supportive. Like, they're very supportive. But at some point, like, other family members were like doubting it. I'm not saying maybe it was like the first time when they got into in the family, like it literally started with me. So others were like having doubts. Because you know how it's said, Uti, if you are in university, you've achieved.
You've made it. You've made it.
You've made it.
Go to university. You made it. And when Sofunubuya waste
they're like, you say disappoint, but like my parents were very supportive. My family, like my very, very close family, like my family in general was very supportive. They're like, no, it's fine. If you wanna, like, Vele, it wasn't that easy because like they'd be like, how sure are you that you're gonna like come out with what you? And I'm like, relax, I'm gonna do this. And then eventually, like, we got through it. They were like fully there, 100% supportive. So I went back, and also like, because that school requires you to be near school. So if you're gonna be away from school, because sometimes there's like sipumaleti, but there are accommodations around. So yeah, so I get a space at the school, and I managed to like classic. I was in grade 12A, yeah, and then they're like, okay, like we do 8 subjects. That's where the problem started. And then they cancelled my accounting for history because they're like, it's a B. They're like, accounting is hard. We're gonna cancel your accounting for history, and we're gonna add tourism for you. Mind you, I've always heard people tourism. But I was like, what is tourism? Like, is tourism a subject? Like, what is it? And one day I'll be doing tourism.
So you did history and tourism now?
So initially I was registered for physics, life sciences, tourism, and history. Okay. But then my class teacher was like, your accounting is good, and if it's a B, you can get it to an A. So rather than starting a subject out 2, rather start A order, and then
network keeps okay. I think you're back. We're gonna just fast track it. Okay. Does it keep coming out and then coming back?
Yeah, no, basically Wi-Fi was coming back, so I just switched it off. Okay. So I was like, okay, no, I was like, accounting, because it's not like my accounting was bad either way, and it was like my favorite subject. So I was like, as in, and then I'll do tourism as a new subject. So
what's the motive at school when you're applying? You're like, I'm coming back from engineering. I'm here because I want to achieve what? I want to go into medicine. What are you telling them?
I was so scared to say, like, and I didn't know Uguti, there's like repeaters at the school at that time. So I thought going there, I didn't think there were many. I knew there were repeaters. I just didn't think there were many repeaters. So when I get there, there's like so it's like my first day. Everyone is already like
group, like friends or something like
their
that.
own friends. So I'm just like, okay, so that means I'm just gonna be this quiet girl. Like, okay, fine. I get there, just sit down. Then it's maths. Oh no, we submit our. They ask us to bring a copy of your matric certificates or statements. So your teacher keeps a copy, and just to keep track of like how you're doing. So generally that's how the school works. So they're gonna keep a copy of statement cycle and your thingy, just to keep track of, okay, this is how you're doing. You need to improve here and there, which is like a helpful method for like the school system and everything. Just to like, and they also like over the year they like remind you, Wuti, at the end of the day, you need to remember, Wuti, you're not like the other grade 12 Sabakalai. When are you doing it for the second time? So you better act like you're doing it for the second time.
Okay. So now you are now in the second time matric. What are you doing differently? Because you're here to now show the person that you used to be, like, I do these grades. Like, what are you doing differently now?
When I got there, first NJ, I just needed to adapt. Like, the school I was coming from, it was like totally different. But I needed to like accept, not that the school is like bad, no, the school is like a very
coming from a girls only school.
Yes, I'm coming.
The culture is different. I know that
the culture is just different, the way things are done. So I had to like make sure Wuti, I adapt, because if so I adapted so well. The teachers there are very accommodating. They're very accommodating and they know their work, definitely. So I got help from like teachers, and like I was a child that like in Bashupa was okay, no, I don't understand what's happening. So like I made sure Wuti, whatever I do, I go extra. Like I go extra, because you go big or you go home.
It's not hard now to like, I used to be independent, and sometimes when you go to university coming from a boarding school, you're like, oh, this independence, I've been craving for it. Now when you cut yours short by a year and you have to listen to teachers, was that hard, or you just humbled yourself and just continued? And like,
it wasn't hard at all. Like at times others would just doubt Uguti I'm from like university, because it'd be like ngati angazi ufunda grade 11 or ufunda grade 10. Like
I saw a picture of you and you've cut your hair. You had cut your hair. I was like, she actually went back and became a child. Like,
yes,
she actually went back and became umntwana school.
I had to adapt to Uguti. They cut their hair, so nami kumele I need to cut my hair. These are their rules. I need to follow by their rules. Uniform, sketi, shirty. So like I need to obey by these rules, and like I had to like humble myself, because at the end of the day I was the one who needed help. So no, I'm from university, so I know because sometimes we do things in class and at the back of my mind I'm like, no, I know this, but I did that, but at some point I'm like, hey, if I knew that, then I wouldn't be here, so that means I don't know it. So here my mindset is like, you know what, these are your teachers, you need to like respect them, give them the respect they deserve. Nabo. And also if you respect the teacher, she's genuinely or he's genuinely gonna like give you back the respect. And I participated more actively in class. I changed my study methods. Like, not that I like instantly changed. I ngafika ngawa like wazama wonke, and then from wazama, most of them ngabona ukuthi okay, this is the one that works for me, and ngizostika kule. And then obviously for the first few days it's like, hey, I'd relapse and go and katale, but I stick to this one. It's gonna work. It's working. You need to tell yourself, no, this is the study method I'm gonna use and it's gonna work. And I started like watching videos of, like, I feel like to know Mina, I wanna get a full house. YouTube. It was like literally how I got 7 distinctions. How I got I watched those
videos. And if you surround your things on yourself with people that are saying I got 7 distinctions and that is what you're seeing, then you start to live that. You start to practice that. If, like I always say, that the law of attraction, things around me needs to attract what I am doing now. If I'm going on vacations to Thailand, I'm watching videos, like my FYP is only going to be Thailand. If I'm learning Korean language, everything around me is going to be in Korean language because I'm watching that. That's what I'm building my mindset to. If you want to do medicine next year, you watching people that are doing medicine. What did they do differently to get into medicine? What NBTs did they write? You're not out there watching pharmacy while you want to go to medicine. What are you telling your mind? What is it? What are you attracting to your mind? Like, I love that.
So I was like, I'm gonna watch what I wanna become, my study methods, also attending at school. So yeah, esikoleni besingena from 6:30 ekuseni till 4:15, 4:30, depends when teacher would finish. And I'd like ngizohlala kulelo class and be like, sometimes I'd be like, yo, angisakhathele ukuthi ngiyongena iclass elithize. But I'd be like, at the end of the day, kusizwa mina, so I'd go.
Yeah.
So,
I love that you were humble.
yeah,
Like, manje uthini to your friends that are now second year, posting their second year, what are you doing? Like, are you saying, hey, ngingane mina? I mean, now.
with friends, my friends, like about most of them from like high school, labesikade sifunda nabo Wits and some women you say Eastern Cape and everything, they're like very supportive because they were also like one of the first few people I told to know, you know what, I feel like this is not for me. So guys, give me advice. What can I do? And they're like straight up, they're like, no, if you wanna go back, go back. We're gonna fully be there. If you need help, because they were also smart. So I was like, you know what, you guys are also smart. So if I needed help, like they were just there.
Yeah.
And then, well, there were those friends that were there, like they were one of those friends that were there. And then obviously, along the way, like I lost friends. You know the thing of, if I'm not gonna talk to you, you're not gonna talk to me back. And then the whole
Friendship
friendship
ends.
just died like that. So, like I lost some of like the friendships along the way because I really felt like I was supportive, but you're not giving me like the support. I'm not saying shift manje your whole life to me, shift your whole attention to everything. But
Yeah.
now as a person who like understand friendships and everything, so you need to understand it's okay. Yes, I have a friend that I'm very close to who actually went back to high school because of such reasons. Ngike ngimcheck nje ukuthi uright nje.
Yeah.
Yeah, but so ever since then, I feel like we stopped talking. Then it died off like that. I'm just like, it's fine.
Meant to be friendship again. You guys will meet later on in life and the friendship will resume. And if you don't, that's okay. That's how life is. Like, you know, we lose friends along the way. Nami, I remember I was sharing my story of university and somebody asked me and said, are you guys still friends? I'm like, no. And she said, did you stop being friends? I'm like, no, the communication just ended. And, you know, you grow up and you change numbers and you just lose contact like that. And if we meant to be friends, somehow we will reconnect again and we'll become friends. And one of those friends actually reached out to me on LinkedIn and said, I'm looking for my friend who I used to go to university with. Her name was Nelly, but she didn't look like you. Like, oh, it is me, just grown. You know, it was very good. Like, it was a full circle moment because I was like, I've been telling my son about this girl. She was in my first university I went into. So I was like, I'm so glad we found each other. So if you meant to find each other again, you will. And if you don't, that's okay. You move on. Okay. So now we're fast forwarding. Now comes April's time to apply. This is your 2023 year. 2020? Yes. 2024. Yeah. You are applying now. April, what are you sitting down to put down?
When I was applying, like obviously I was doing research and everything, and most of the time I'd like come across actual sciences, and also with emergency, like the way the teachers at that school. Because I remember, Mina, when I got there, I didn't like life sciences, like generally, like there were subjects in general that I didn't like, but I ended up staying with like my life sciences teacher, right? And full time. Like I was saying, with her, she'd like teach me and everything. And her dedication actually made me feel dedicated to like my schoolwork. So now I ended up like being so dedicated to the subject and loving it. Like it even at that point, it surpassed accounting. Like
So
literally,
I'm gonna just repeat this. Her dedication made you dedicated. I hope
yes.
whoever is a teacher watching this video can honestly hear that, because sometimes we feed off what the teachers are giving to us. You know, students feed that. Like if you get like I was assisting, not mentioning the school, but I was assisting 4 students from one school last year in Matric. 4 of them, their maths was 16. Like these kids are not the kids that know each other. I would just get reports and 16, 18, 21, 16, 18, 21. And I was like, ain't no way it can be the children's fault at this point. Like these are 40 kids. So sometimes it's the dedication that you find from the teacher, and then it comes from you to say, okay, I see that my teacher is also dedicated, and then you build on that. So I'm glad you found a school that was as dedicated to the learners.
Yes, I definitely like I highly recommend that school. So like the teachers are so dedicated. Nami, I was like, if the teacher is just dedicated and the teacher is just there to like teach you and make sure you understand the work, ukuze mase uyobhala, you know, ufundisiwe. But bona, the way they were so dedicated, I was like, I cannot like ihlazo ukuthi ngidisappointe. Ihlazo phela. So that kept me going, and with the meds, it was basically into yokuthi I want revenge. Bengaka recover from that 16. Bengaka recover. So it was a matter of what it's revenge. And like it matters like always being a subject that was like it's very hard to like comprehend. So mangfika laphayana, I find a teacher that's like so dedicated. Is like, no, when ulo 60 wakho uzothola A, trust me. Term one came, exams came, sabal. Obviously being sab because I was like, and at some point I'm like, if it doesn't work out here, very registered, I'm going back.
Yeah, you had a plan B. Did you go to fetch your things, events? You did?
It wasn't a lot. It was literally a and 2 textbooks in calculus. Yes.
Oh, okay. So
So I
now
I
you are applying.
yes, ngibhale, and then term one obviously you can't use term one.
Mm.
So singa apply. Nginenkinga, I can't use my term one. I need to go back to that grade 11 marks. Oh, and also the process wasn't so easy because uthola ukuthi mo
Previous
apply.
metrics are still showing.
Yes, and there's a certain way you like need to apply for like as a new student. So yo begunzi mashem apply, but luckily also the school provides a teacher
That
that
helps with
helps
application.
students with applications because they know Guti there's like more also repeaters in the school. So actually my first time as a pen, there's like repeaters. So Melesba sees this batching is okay, this is how you apply. So they guided us through the process. They showed us what's okay, and the school also offered us ama confirmation letters. Ukusho ukuthi no, it's true. Ukuthi Banbani was repeating matric at the school, so do not consider her old marks.
Old metrics.
Consider
Yeah.
yes, which that letter really worked for me. Like in many schools,
Uploaded, yes.
yes, I uploaded it, and because some instances like Vela, my old results, then I just email the school. However, I do have confirmation Guti, I've restarted everything. Then they'd be like, oh, okay, if that's the case, then that means
Consider you as a
you
metric
can't-
student.
Yes, then they clear everything, then I'd be able to apply. So it's also very important Guti, if we're like repeating matric, you let them know, like not that you indicate in the application first, no. You all when you apply, you upload, and also on the side you text them and tell them okay, this is my case. Ukuze I understand ukuthi they need to remove your old marks and wait for your new marks. So I'm applying. Obviously, I'm also applying for medicine. I'm sengibuka nje sengahealth ke manje. Angisabukeli lutho lonke.
Like usuyabona phela nama-marks akho that they are moving in the direction that is heading you to medicine. So that
Yes. But applying kwami, I'm like, however, I need to understand the competition for space ka medicine. I need to also find something that I can say I can definitely feel safe and say, ngizongena kuyona. So I applied for abo pharmacy. I applied for pharmacy, medical sciences, of which I was just applying just to be in the medical sector. And then nakhona being applied to those universities lawa avalwa early. And then as uJune uhamba, like, because maths and physics, that was my first time. Because term one I got all distinctions. Term two, I got 6 distinctions and 2 C's. 2 C's or B's, yes. And I was like, no, now I'm feeling discouraged. Why am I dropping? Nanoguti, yes, the others are maintained A's, but yabo, sengihluleka na understand ukuthi no kahle kahle phela umsebenzi tekade ngibhala ka term 1 was just one topic, 2 topics. Manje, I was writing almost a full scale paper, like a paper grade and it's paper 1 and 2. Like, angisafuna understand that manje. I'm just like so stressed out to know what is going on. Now, manje izinto seyibheka le. So, I like get so stressed, but I'm like, you know what, it's fine. I try to also apply for izinto that, oh, there was a B. I'm like trying to accommodate things that I have, like,
That
they
would be,
accommodate or
yeah,
B,
yeah.
so, and then I come across the actual sciences. Kandi vele, it was like something in mind as well that I've like looked at, done research about. And then I started like doing more.
Sorry to disturb. Are you writing the NBT now? Because this is second time around.
Yeah, I wrote the NBT, but I wrote it like later, just to make sure I cover the whole content.
Okay. Okay.
So I'm like, NBT ngi-apply-lile, angeke ngikwazi ukulenza lelo phutha. And then there's something called what's this test? But like this test, that a career test that actually guides you when you fall into
Career quiz.
yes, career quiz.
Yeah.
So when I'm doing this career quiz, hlampe out of hlampe I did 4. Hlampe iyodwa yangibuyela ne-health sciences.
Oh, I love that.
Iyodwa.
I make every student that comes to me to say, I really don't know what I want to study. I made them take that career quiz. And when it comes back, I'm like, see the results? Like literally yesterday, when I came back from Matric college, girls, I made one take the test and it came 58% on health science. The others were 77%, 78%
Yes.
humanities, 77 on engineering, 78 in accounting. I was like, wasn't this thing asking you related scenarios and you were answering those scenarios, not knowing that it's saying, do you want medicine? It doesn't go straight and say, do you want medicine? But it gives you scenarios of how you would solve a situation, how you'd go about. Then it gives you, okay, based on what you answered, here it is. Because sometimes you might want medicine because you're like, my mom was sick. And then, like in my case, my mom was very sick and she ended up passing away because of that certain illness. And that illness was dental related. And so I was like, I'm doing dentistry. And my mom passed away when I was doing grade 11. So grade 12, I was like, I need to do dentistry because I need to cure whatever mom was going through. I went into first year dentistry. It was misery. Like it was misery. And then that's when I realized, actually, this wasn't a dream of mine. It was just filling that void of, So sometimes medicine is like that. It's like, you just saw somebody who was ill and you felt sorry for them, which is human thing. Like you're bound to feel that sorry, but it's not that. It's the passion that you'll be doing 20 years down the line.
So
yeah,
I take the test. Most of them are just directing me through internet, commerce, like the corporate side. I conjecture maybe 70-80% help. But I'm like, just put a blind eye to it. But my love for maths just grew. I'd like make sure every day. I'd like make sure I do maths. Also can't finish maths. So I honestly need to do this. So I do maths a lot. And I've even figured out I actually love maths. Like I do. I've been so cooked up in,
Yeah.
medicine. And I'm like even forgetting that there are other careers out there that still exist besides engineering. So,
Besides medicine.
yes.
Didn't that occur to you when you got to vets to see and ask other people what career are you doing? And they're like international relations or biomedical engineering, like, oh, I didn't know there's actually this course.
Yes.
You just know medicine, engineering, law, nursing.
Yes. Okay, and then Manglo, when I
You've
apply,
discovered actuarial science now.
yes. So I apply, and then everything is just like going well. And then so Balama trials, and they're like so big on what you get for trials is what you're gonna get for finals. The stress began. So I was like, okay, trials are literally my last option. I need to prove myself. So whatever I'm gonna get on my trials, I need to get it kwama finals. So trials, I overworked. I overworked so hard. I worked so hard. Yo,
Are you
I worked
staying
so,
alone or are you staying in a rent out? No, Messi, what is happening?
yes, I was staying with my teacher.
Okay. All right.
So
So you're just pushing through and then thinking what is back home and what you've promised, and what you promised yourself
yes,
also. Like you made a
yes,
promise to yourself and like I have a score to settle. And also, man, I feel like the drive of a distinction to a person is big. Like if umuntu distinction, like it drives you and it haunts you to like I need to maintain this for myself.
yes. So I was like, no, it can't be Wuti. Tom one have been number one, Tom two. Then Gizelle drop her say, yo. I was like, no, it can't be. I need to maintain. So I worked so hard, and I think that's when like I made my first video. Well, no, I made my first video saying Zobele calling, and then I even closed the comments because like some people are just so mean with TikTok. They're just like, what if you don't? Well, I think they were so mean, like in the way Abangi Bebe Buzanga call. But
Yeah,
they were like stating reality, Wuti. This is what could actually happen. But I was like, like ngavele ngavala amandla. I was like, because ngathi mhlambe ngumuntu ongatsheleke not ever. But I'm just like, people are never gonna see like lento oyifunayo wena wedwa oyibonayo ukuthi this is what I want. Bona bazofuna ukubona into ethandwa yibona. So they're not gonna see.
because they also don't know what drives you.
Yes, they don't know what drives me. So bona they're gonna see or even want me to do into efunwa yibona. So I was like, I'm not even gonna try to convince anyone. I'm gonna do what I wanna do because mina sengiyayibona lento engifuna ukuyenza. I wrote my finals, I apply, then I got provisional acceptances for pharmacy. So I was like, hey, this is big.
This is now in term 4 that you're getting this
Yes.
provisional acceptance.
Yes, I'm getting provisional acceptances ROT for pharmacy, accounting sciences, UFS, as well as actual sciences. I was getting like a provisional acceptance. I was getting something. I was like, okay, at least there's something. Like I was starting to like see lights. I was like, you know what? Things
It gives you the push, isn't it, when you get this provisional acceptance? Gives you a
Yes.
push a lot.
Like, yes, and they like constantly reminded me, but you need to think, because at some point I was just like mising the whole pharmacy thing because it's like, eish, and then at some point it's just like, you know what, we're making this a firm offer. Like after 2 weeks, it just became a firm
Take
offer.
it away.
Yes, kwabe firm offer. So I was like, okay, at least in university, I'm still in high school, but
You
already
wrote there.
you wrote, yes. I know what you know what, already have a spot in pharmacy. Also, after a few weeks, if not a few weeks, few days, QFS also comes back. They're like, no, we're making your offer final. This is your final offer based on your term 3 results. So I was like, okay, I guess it's my luck. And then Sipalama finals, I worked like crazy. Jay.
Like when you say you work like crazy, put the metrics that are watching this video in
Guys,
mind. Like, are you sleeping 5 hours a night? Are you sleeping
I
hours?
didn't.
What is it? Are you watching TikTok sometimes? What are you doing?
I'd like, phone is mostly a distraction at times, because like you'd be kancane on like the documents and then be like, I would think touchy break kancane. No more like every break, but this is not time for break. But you go to TikTok, like I'm just like, okay, this is a distraction. And then some points I'm just like, no, you know what? Create a timetable. Oh, the teacher we stayed with, she was like, no, I need to see, like she did a constant follow up. Yeah, she's like, yes, you're approaching exams, but let me see a timetable, let me see something. It can't be ukuthi umetric uyobhala but you don't even know ukuthi uhlelo lakho lokufunda lime kanjani. So I created a study timetable, and at first it was like so hard to keep up on, because sometimes lizophela leli hour table 2 hours so uzolenza for physics, but you still feel like continuing, and then you end up taking isikhathi salokho, then you end up not doing lezi zinto kade uthe you're gonna do. So at some point I was like, you know what, I need to follow this timetable. So I created a timetable engizokwazi ukuthi, you know what, I'm gonna follow. I follow wish I get that timetable, and then I guess it worked for me. Gangingalali, like, I was being tease because some points I'm going goal. It's okay, no,
Seriously, ungalali.
It's like ingoba awulali, and I'm like, these people don't understand ukuthi this is actually my last chance at this.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, I can't
Because that's actually what drives you. Because Bona, maybe it's their first push at Matric when this is your last chance. So
Yes.
you putting it with everything you've got.
And
like
sometimes like I'd wish to tell them, "Muti guys, use this time." Like, just because the school gives you an opportunity to come back for the second time, it doesn't mean you should play around. Because there's gonna be a school out there to give you second chance. Don't use a second chance as an advantage. No, use it when you really, really need to like use it. But most your first try, and then you're gonna say no. At least if you're son any chance, sometimes girls will tell a little chance, then it's gonna be a problem. So, like I really like, but some of them I got a chance to like talk to them and be like, guys, you really need to be serious. Like, it's not like ngoba ngibuyile kumnandi ngoba I like laugh with you guys, everything is nice, everything. It's actually not that nice, because realizing I went a bit back, but at the end of the day, I mean, and it was very fast.
goes by quick.
Yeah, so I was like very patient with myself as well. Like, I was very patient with myself. And okay. I was like, I will make a sacrifice. And then what else? Oh, and then Matric.
Are you fitting in with the Matrix? Like, are you not like Ansundanga for anything to
the thing they used to think
fitting in kahle nje and being like,
yep, perfectly. Like, at some point I went to give a dialogue now. I was like because I feel like also with the school I went to Enanda, it was always instilling this
yes.
So just because you like in Matric, you actually used to find out, so we actually have like relationships and friendships with like Ingani, like we built a relationship here, sisterhood. So I still have it in me to, it's really good to like make bonds out there, because you're never gonna know one day you're gonna need them.
Yeah. So, I love that about girls only and boys only school, because it builds that either brotherhood or the sisterhood. And as you say, it's still with you. It will stay with you, trust me. Even when you're older, it stays with you. And this is what also, I'm not saying if you didn't go to an only girls, it wouldn't, but what made you to be able to adapt and find your feet in that new school and learn their culture and find that being humble. But I find that also your upbringing at home. Like, I could just tell, like, before you could say my mom and dad, that and that, I was like, she comes from a very supportive family, because it takes a lot for you to come back and sit down at the skin from university, like it builds a lot. It might not just be only mom and dad, teachers, other support structures. So all of those people you allow in your space
Yes.
would build what you decide to do later on. You mentioned your friends also that you went into. So all of those things, they are factors that make or break your decision. So
Yeah.
then a final offer 2025. Now what happens? We fast forwarding.
Yes, we're fast forwarding. I get my results in 2025. Obviously, I'm so happy. Like I was over the moon. At first, I couldn't believe it because being stressed, January wrong. But when the
What an
results come, I'm
result.
like, the results, it was, well, for physics, it didn't go according to my plan, but I'm like, at least it was something. So I got 7 distinctions and 1 C. So I was doing 8 subjects, and the C was physics. And I was like quite sad because I was like, okay, at least a B would have been, it was close to a B, but I was like, a B would have been better than this. But I'm just like, at some points, I'm just like, well, it's better than what I had before. So the best part was I got what I
You
wanted,
came
which
back
was
for
seven
Revenge Girl
distinctions.
and you got your 7 distinctions. And
I
you
was
ended up
like,
doing history and you came
no,
with,
I didn't.
you
I
didn't.
didn't do history. Yes,
You
I
did
ended up taking
tourism
a subject, tourism,
and
which
you
was
came with
actually
level 7 in it.
it was actually my highest in my report, so it was 96. So I was like, okay, good. Now this
You
is
had
what I
never
want.
done tourism in grade 11, grade 10. You came back with a level 7.
So I was like, I'm gonna also with the subject. I just told myself, "Ukuthi, since I'm doing like at first I used to think, "Ukuthi, this subject is gonna like decrease my chances of getting 7 distinctions because anyazi probably chances are, excuse me, ngizophuma nobila." But as time went by, I was like, no, most of the work we did there was grade 12 content. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna make sure I listen to the teacher. I'm gonna make sure I just follow her whole instruction and try to like keep up. Because once we're behind and like with schoolwork, kuyabheda nje. So rather keep up or be ahead. It's either you're ahead or you keep up with the teacher. So that also helped me. So tourism, I didn't even expect it to go to it was gonna be 96. Life sciences increased from 66 to 60 to 84, as well as my accounting increased by 14%. But my marks increased. Fine, 2025, getting offers, and then I'm just like, I'm waiting for this actual science offer.
So like your mind now was made up that it's going to be actual science. Like
I made it up before I even wrote finals. Ukuthi, no, you know what? I'm focusing on extra because even like with TikTok, it was just like, as you were saying, Guti,
you build your FYP, you put
yes.
things, yes.
So my FYP was like mostly about exercise. So I'm just like, and also, I have a friend who was like doing medicine at UCT. She was also like, not that she was discouraging me, no, actually, I'm like really grateful, Uguti. She was able to give me the insight of what really happens at medicine. So it's not just only the glitters of wearing scrubs, it's not only about the, being called udokotela, even though like, you don't have a doctorate or whatever, you just get your degree and automatically you're a doctor. She just let me in inside my insights in medicine ukuthi actually there's like your emotional well-being, your physical well-being is involved. You need to understand ukuthi at some point uzothi whatever they're gonna need you at work ebusuku, which I was like, okay, cool. But I needed to also understand my health as well. Ukuthi I'm a person like gets sickly, so I can't do something ezosheshe ingstraine, ezosheshe ingidinga ukuthi ngiretire. So I was like, I can't put myself under that strain. And also, I like, I'm a very emotional person. So I was like, can you imagine? I lose a patient and whatsoever. It's gonna be the end of me. And the one situation at some point, I was like with my family, and one of my baby sisters, she choked on stick sweet, like a big bowl of stick sweet, and she like ingane started like getting sick. Kwakungathi siyashona, like her eyes turning white. And literally to tell you, Guti, did I not run? Like I ran away from the whole situation. I just moved away.
It was like, this is not.
And I'm like thinking after this whole thing, still today, I still think about it, like that situation. I was like, should things have turned out like otherwise, ngabe at least ngifila kanjani, okay, fine, it's my sister. But like sengibuka in a perspective of being a doctor, ukuthi, like there was nothing I could do. So can you imagine kumuntu mhlawumbe uthola ukuthi it's gonna be a 3 month baby. Iyashona ingane mhlawumbe ezandleni zami. I'm not gonna be able to live with that. So kwakumele ngiqama phansi ngibuke my emotional side as well as well-being yami ukuthi it's not something ebengizokwazi ukuyimela. Mhlawumbe abanye abantu that have ibindi, because others are like, no, uyafundisa not ever, and I'm just like, awusoze ufundise umuntu isibindi. Awukwazi isibindi umuntu into abanayo phakathi, just like how ngaba nesibindi sokubuyela esikoleni. So ngeke mhlawumbe ngiforce omunye umuntu ongenaso leso sibindi, mhlawumbe osabayo ukuthi abantu bazothini whatsoever, ngimforce ngimphoqe ukuthi okay, go back. So lento le iyana ngesibindi sakhe. I was like, okay, I don't think I was like made out. Yes, I like the idea. Like I realized there's many ways I could help people without having to help them in terms of healthy abo. I can still help them with the healthy abo without me being actually involved with the whole thing. So I was like, So I was like, let me stick to like the corporate world, VLF, accounting, mathematics, 2 favorite subjects.
Then combined into one.
I'm gonna be dealing with life insurances. I'm gonna be dealing with my policies, basically accounting and finance, statistics of my finances and everything. So I was like, I'm still gonna get my bag and I'm still gonna support my sisters, and at least my sisters will still be like, yeah, so
proud of her.
Yes. So I was like, well, it's still gonna happen. So when I got the offer, actual sciences, I was like, okay, this is God's sign, and I got it like mid-Jan. Mid-Jan. So I was like, okay, there's still time to think about it and whatever.
The other offers.
I'm not
like,
even gonna...
were you hoping that the offer is going to come from Verts because you're already familiar with the background and the surroundings?
Honestly, I applied for XI Verts, and unfortunately I couldn't because they consider physics and maths, whereas the other universities, they consider your English and your maths. So also mangbuka the exemptions, UP most likely has more exemptions than the other universities. So I was like, I'll choose UP because it's not about the universities, it's not about the glitters of the universities. It's like my mind is now matured and I'm actually understanding what it's about the course you do.
Yes.
You could do whatever it's UT. You actually gonna be better. You're gonna gain skills la payana because it's a university of technology. Mina, I'm gonna be more on academia and whatsoever. So okay, this is how it works. Just because we said DUT, VUT, or whatever, it doesn't mean you didn't qualify it. It's actually the same thing because like when we like it works the same way. So I was like, okay, actual science it is, finance it is, and here I am. And
are you loving it?
Yes, I am. Because like today, I'm loving it a lot.
Okay. Different to Vets, when you compare the two, are you like, I'd rather be at Vets, or are you loving where you are?
The environment at Vets, I was like getting used to it. It's like very environmentally friendly, but I think I'm okay where I'm at. Like the peace here, it's just so peaceful. Like it's just a whole different environment, like compared to like Vets is fine. Like it's definitely a good. I'm not saying it's not a good university, but I'm just saying, Wuti, like now that I'm in a different university, I feel like okay, no, this is actually a good university. Like it's very good.
I've been to both. I get what you mean.
Really?
And not to study, but I've been, taking students to both, so I get exactly what you mean.
Yes.
So did you get a bursary this year? Did you apply for one?
Yes, I applied for there's something called NPC
Okay, yeah.
bursary. Yes, I got that, and it allows you to like also use NSFAS at the same time. So I'm using
Okay,
both NSFAS and NPC,
okay.
and yeah.
Awesome. Um, in closing, we've taken like 2 hours of your time. She's studying actual science.
Okay.
So what would you say to a matric student watching this video, or to somebody who's found themselves on a gap year because their marks were not good? Because their marks were not good, because not because I didn't get a space because of space, but because your marks didn't get you there.
Okay. With ngizoqala ngalaba abaqala aba like the first timers. So if you're like currently in matric, I'm gonna encourage you to like work hard. Work as if you don't even think about this thing of having a second chance or upgrading. Like work as if manje you are writing finals. Because that's one mistake most of them don't do.
They only push when it's
They
finals.
only push when it's final, Kanti. The whole year counts. And also, you need to start with Ikiya lokuthi, I'm gonna get this and I want this. Trust me, you're gonna get it. So, Kanti, if you're gonna doubt yourself and be like, hey, God, I mean, one. If ihlula into, don't just sit and be like, no, do something about it and do it now. Because if you're gonna work, uzothi, no, iyangihlula and izokuhlula probably sekuyophela unyaka, you surely gonna have a problem. So if you're like a first timer, like a first time grade 12, I'd really encourage you, Uti, you work really hard. I'll encourage you, Uti, you push, you do your best. Don't be too hard on yourself, but at the same time, don't be too comfortable. Metric, you're not supposed to be comfortable. So work really, really hard and like make sure ukuthi whatever you do, you make sure ukuthi keepa ubest wakho. And
And you know
also
your best. Like
you know
each
your best.
person, like you came back because you knew your best and you came back
Yes.
and found it. So each
Yes.
person know their own best. And sometimes you might have gotten used to 60s, but you know I'm willing to push to a 96.
Yes. So you don't settle for less. Don't settle for less marks. And also like try to establish a certain study method that's gonna like guys, here's my teacher, the Miss Knox. Guys, I got proud. And also my mom is in this live. Guys,
Oh,
I love them
yay.
so much. And my
Thank you.
dad.
Oh my.
Basically, yeah,
It
guys.
takes a village to raise a child, and
Yes.
I hope each one of them can see and say, you know, we made this. And as a parent myself, I can see that it didn't just take your mom and dad to make this because, you know, it takes a village to raise a child, even though you came from a good home. And I can see and hear that. I interview a lot of students. I speak to a lot of students, and sometimes you can tell, okay, you come from a good home because you have a good head on your shoulders. I am so proud of the community that raised you. I'm just proud to just learn. And from whoever have watched this video and will watch this video, I'm gonna post it again on YouTube. You guys did so well, including you, because you built this confidence because you came from a loving home. A
Yeah.
confident child comes from a loving home, then you build that confidence.
Yes. So as I was saying, grade 12s, please make sure you like full focus, full on your books. There's gonna be a lot of distractions, especially once you got matric. You're thinking, it's like literally the end of the year. Like it's my last year in high school. I can do whatever I want. Don't have that mentality. Literally have this mentality, Uguti, when at least just angazi ngizoyibeka kanjani. Just have this mentality, Uguti. This is your final year and you need to make the most of it. Because if you don't, you're gonna have a problem. Of which you're gonna have a problem. If you're not focused, if you literally focused on other things that are not important, ubaninkinga is serious because you get deviated from your schoolwork and you're now focusing on other things, of which kuba inkinga ekugcineni because usuke wedwa when you're looking back and be like, hey, ukube, and ukube ubuhlungu mfana, what? Ukube, it doesn't really work. So Matrix, first timers, please, not even first timers, because number repeater currently, and nabo they also need to like hear a few words. So now if you're like upgrading or you repeating, well done for like taking that leap on faith. So well done for like taking that risk. It's gonna be worth it. If now Vela, it's gonna be worth it, but now you have to make it worth it. It's gonna be worth it. No, you need to make it worth it, and you need to work hard and constantly. As much as it's gonna like feel a bit weird, but you like need to remind yourself, I'm doing this and this because of this. I need this. Also, since I'm like a person who prays, remind yourself you also need to include God in everything you do. Like my study sessions, I make sure I include God, and trust me, I don't feel a thing. I feel no whatsoever. Like I just push through up until I'm just like reaching my limits. I'm like, okay, no, now I need to sleep. So also sleep. I'm not saying 3 hours, 4 hours, 5 is enough. Ungalalisi okomuntu owenza grade 1.
Yes.
Awukwazi wena ukulala kanye nosisi wakho wenza grade 7, grade 8, grade 10. Methi kuyolala ucime nawe nje ucime impela ulale. No, that can't be the case. Abathi becima wena uyavuka uyakhanyisa.
Awesome.
And then those who are sitting at home with like want to get their marks, take that risk. Don't doubt yourself. You obviously need to change a few things. And sure you see good look at 70 isn't working out for you. So you need to establish a new study method. You need to change your ways of doing things. You won't need to look at it didn't work for you. So obviously there was something wrong that you're doing. So do something about it. Don't just sit. They are not yours. So you can't really settle for something was okay, this is not me. So now thinking of going back to school, definitely you need to go back. And to those, like I get so many questions like every day about the school that I was at.
You're gonna give them a highlight. You wanna give them a shout out.
Yes, that was definitely a best school. But yeah, it's definitely the best. And those who want to apply, I recommend you do it as early as possible. Like you call the school to inquire, when can you start applying? Because trust me, uya twala. So you need to make sure you apply as early as you can. I think applications open around 3rd term. I'm not sure, honestly. I'm not sure.
Such a good school because for you to even speak like that, and the school that we interviewed last week with our previous student last week, Zesiphelele, her name I almost forgotten. She was going to be upset with me because she's on the live.
Yes, I saw her.
She's also spoke very well of her school. It takes a lot for students to come back and say, I vouch for that school.
Yes.
And students like you guys who've seen the world and seen, the university life and come back and still vouch for the school. So high five to those teachers that dedicate their time to raise you guys, because at home we can do it, but you 8 hours in the school with those teachers. So they contribute to this child being raised. And high five to your parents for raising you in a Christ-like manner, because after all is said and done, what you believe in also takes part. And I also echo what you said about involve God in your studies. If you believe in something else, involve that into your studies.
Yes.
Because a lot of things happen in your grade 12 year. A lot of things happen when you're studying Matric. So centering yourself in the faith that you believe in is also very important, so that when your own energy falls, but you pick up from the spirit or from the faith that you believe in. You were not sleeping, but you said you were not feeling tired. Doesn't mean you were depending on energy drinks, but
I was. I'm guilty of that.
You were centering on that. I have to go now, but
Same.
thank you so much. And I know a lot of people are benefiting from this video. You've made a lot of people to say they're going to sleep in December. They're going to go back and redo Matric and chase their dream. And as somebody who watched you, I was like, I admire this girl for chasing what she wanted. I have people who are like 32, 33 that realize then that this is not the career they want. Can you please help me apply at 33, 32? You realize it now at 18 and said, I'm going back to chase for what I want. And when you look back and you're 30, you're going to be proud of this girl that made this decision. You might now see and say, I could have been in third year, I could have been in second year, but it's never too late and you did it. And we are all so very proud of you.
Thank you so much.
I'm so glad you agreed to come. And, literally, guys, she came back from class and had like 1 hour or 30 minutes to find herself and sit down. So you haven't even like gathered your everything. So I'm truly grateful for
you.
that. And
Thank you so much.
thank you so much. You guys can go follow
Bye.
her and support her and send her gifts. She's at university. For me, you can send me a DM. My email address is also on my thingy. I'm gonna try to reach out to your high school just to come and speak if possible. So glad, and we'll talk. Bye,
Okay,
everybody.
thank you.
Oh, I haven't ended. I haven't ended. Okay, bye, everybody. Thank you so much. How do I end the live? I almost just ran out because